Hey, Shalom. I want to start by giving all honor and glory to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai Ba'Shem HaKakwadash. Double honor to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well, who taught me this truth through the Holy Spirit, the Rakakwadash. Salutations to you brothers and sisters out there listening and learning. It's going to be a quick one. Okay, I was just on YouTube. And YouTube is a piece of shit website. Okay, that unfortunately we have to use because the word has to get out. Okay, and I believe the word is already out, but YouTube is banning, shadow banning, and it's just a hassle, really. I'm gonna be starting to put my videos up on Rumble, and what's the other one? It's another site. I'll put the link in there. Okay. I'll still put it on YouTube, but again, YouTube is garbage. But I was searching up Esau as the white man, okay, and it, you see, so many Jakes, okay, wicked Jakes, okay, putting up videos. Esau isn't the white man. Esau, and it's just garbage, okay, because these guys are paid off, and really, this video isn't even about that. Okay, I'm just ranting Salakia. But, the spirit hopped on me, okay? And, I for some reason, I ain't been listening to the radio much lately, okay? But, I still know a lot of songs. And this song just popped up into my head, Dirty Diana, okay? And, the other day I seen a video on Michael Jackson, and it just upset me how they did Michael Jackson. Even though Michael Jackson was a wicked nigga, man, but... still, he tried the best that he could with what he had. You have to be chosen for this ministry, and you have to be chosen to get it. But he did, he did know the truth. Okay, and he brought out a lot of things. Okay, and one of the things was Diana. Okay, and I looked up, Diana. Okay, and there's something called the cult of Diana. Okay, and it's associated with the whore of Babylon, which is written in Revelation. Okay, so I'm going to read this in the AI overview. Matter of fact, I'll get that first. Okay, because I've been talking. Let me get a scripture. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 17. Okay, it says, and there came one of the seven angels which had the seven vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, come hither, and I will show thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters. Okay, and this whore is associated with Esau, Edom as well. Okay, if you look at the book of Psalms 137, okay, Esau is likened to, Babylon. All right. And this is why I brought up Esau earlier, okay? Because you niggas, man, that saying that Esau's in the white man, and I look at these niggas, they're just, they look stupid, okay? They look foolish, they look like, they don't study, okay? And it's not acceptable, okay? How can you be, a shepherd or, a teacher and you don't study yourself, okay? This is Psalms 137 and 7. It says, remember, O Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, the children of Edom, and the day of Jerusalem, who say, raise it, even to the foundation thereof. O daughter of Babylon, okay, Diana, okay, who art to be destroyed, happy shall he be that rewarded thee as thou hast served us. Okay, and as we're going to look, Diana is... the way you worship Diana is through slavery. Okay? So we're going to chain Esau up. Okay? It doesn't matter how many niggas, done sold out to Esau Edom. All right? And how many, liars he got on the payroll, man. Okay? Because this devil got plenty of people waiting to sell their soul, man. Okay? For this devil so they can get riches. Because truly they don't believe. Okay, truly they don't believe. A lot of these people that are saying this are Old Testament Israelites. Okay, and they don't believe in Yahweh Shai anyway. Okay, but Esau is likened to this great whore. okay, that sitteth upon many waters, waters going to the people. It said, who the kings of this earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of a fornication. All right, and we go into this all the time. You see it through, Esau spreading his democracy, okay, people involving themselves in his economy, okay, trade, all right, military, okay, everybody wants a piece of the great whore, man. It says, so he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw the woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast, full of names of blasphemy, having the 7 heads and 10 horns. Because Diana goes by many names. Okay, the worship of Diana goes into many names, and we'll see that right now. Okay, that's why it's full of names of blasphemy. Okay, and every name it goes by, is wickedness. Okay, the cult of Mary, Columbia. Okay, there's many names. It said, and the woman which was arrayed in purple and scarlet color and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication. Okay, and there's a statue. Let me see if I can get it. Okay, there's a statue associated with Diana. Okay, and it has, all kind of titties and, babies and different pussies and all that. Okay, because this demon, okay, that has the world by storm, okay, that's taken the world by storm, okay, is filthy, okay, and the fornication, okay, full of fornication, which goes into the word porneia. Okay, maybe that's why the Lord had me looking at it, because I've been looking at, naked pictures here lately, and I have to get control of myself, Lord's will. I can get an old lady, but, that's neither, well, that, that's all part of it, okay, because we don't want to be hypocrites. But this is how powerful, this woman was, okay, because John, he marveled at it, right? I'm going to keep reading. It says, and upon the forehead, the name was written, Mystery Babylon, okay, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth, okay, and this is why, all women want to come here, okay, from all around the world. Every woman wants to come to live in America, okay, so she could be worshipped. It said, and I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints, the Israelites, and with the blood of the martyrs of Yahweh Shai, okay, because a lot of people, brothers, a lot of people have already died, okay, but more people are going to die, okay, for the name of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. And when I saw her, I wondered with great admiration. Okay, so even John the Revelator was taken by it. Okay, because you go and everything, on the internet is revolves around that. Okay, you got pictures of women and seductive clothing. When you scroll, I mean, it's all filthiness and whoredom, man. Okay, and it's pushed down your throat, at a crazy rate. Okay, you go out, I woke up early this morning. I was up 5-6 o'clock. I went to get me a cup of coffee. I see this fucking lady jogging damn near butt naked. Okay, this is why John marveled at this place. Okay, because this is it's all, it's all a thirst trap. Okay, lack of a better word, man. It's a thirst trap. Okay, and men of the Lord, we don't really get too many women, because they all want to be worshipped, man. Okay, so, hey, I got to get control of myself. Hey, Lord's will, he put the spirit on me. Okay, but this is the same thing, John. He wondered with great admiration. And an angel said unto me, wherefore didst thou marvel? I will tell thee the mystery of the woman and of the beast that carrieth her, which has 7 heads and 10 horns. Okay, so, part of it goes into this Diana, cult of Diana. And I'm going to read this. This is the AI overview. It said the connection between the cult of Diana or Artemis or Ephesus. Okay, the cult had many names, full of names. right? Let's look at it again. It says full of had a having many names of blasphemy. Okay, so there you go. Diana, Artemis, Ephesus. Okay, they got a right here. This is the temple of Artemis. Okay, that was in Ephesus during the time of Paul. Okay, when Paul was around. Okay, and I'll get into that. The book of Acts. Okay, where they actually, worshipped it, and they were making a lot of money. Okay, doing this. Okay. And this is why a lot of our people sold out, okay? Because there's a lot of money involved in, dealing with this whore, right? This is why the Lord say, don't be a whoremonger, okay? Whoremonger goes into pimping and things of that nature. But, this is what happens when you follow after, idols for money, okay? You're likened to a whoremonger. Sold your soul for money, okay, you would be a whoremonger, okay. First Timothy 1 and 10. Let me see. I thought there was a law for it. We'll just read it. It says, for whoremongers, for them that defile themselves with for manstealers, for liars, for perjured persons, if there be any other thing that is contrary to sound doctrine. So you could be forgiven for doing this. Okay? This is what the law is for. This is what this was saying. Okay? But it says right here in the book of Revelation, it says, but the fearful, this is Revelation 21 and 8, but the fearful and the unbelieving and the abominable and the murderers and the whoremongers and the sorcerers and idolaters and all liars shall have their part in the lake which burneth with fire and brimstone, which is the second death. Okay, so if you don't repent from it, okay, you're a lying whoremonger, okay, which a lot of these niggas are, man, who sold out saying that Esau is the white man. You're just gonna catch a missile. Okay, you're gonna be burnt up, when that second judgment comes. Okay, let's go back to the AI overview. Okay, it says the connection between the cult of Diana and the whore of Babylon is a theological and a historical association in Christian eschatology. Okay, eschatology goes into the study of the end times. It says the whore of Babylon from the book of Revelation is widely interpreted by scholars as an allegorical representation of the oppressive and idolatrous Roman Empire. Okay, so if the Edomites were Romans, then and they're still worshiping Diana to this day, okay, then and America is the revised Roman Empire. Okay, what are you niggas talking about, man? All right. It says the primary links between the two include the city of Ephesus, which was the epicenter for the worship of the multi-breasted goddess. Right, I told you she had all them titties. Let's look at it right here. Nah, we're not going to watch no video.
The Temple of Diana.
Matter of fact, they might got the picture. Right here. Here go the picture right here. Okay, you can see it's a lady. Like she got 100 titties, man. Okay, and she got what's that? I don't know what that is right there. They're all kind of folly. Okay, they worship this statue. Okay, they worship this idol. Okay, you got children up here. Okay, these are probably depictions of men, okay, that she's conquered. All right. This is what's going on here. Okay. It says Ephesus was the epicenter of worship of the multi-breasted goddess, a major pagan cult. Early Christians viewed the opulence, imperial loyalty, and sexual practices associated with the temple as symbols of anti-Christian Babylonian system. Okay, and that's exactly what it was. Okay. It says shared iconography. It says the whore of Babylon holds the golden cup and sits on a beast. Scholars have noticed the ancient clay figures representing the Ephesian goddess and the Babylonian goddess Ishtar often featured similar attributes. Okay, so that's another name for this whore, Ishtar. Okay, and they had the golden cup. It says cementing the symbolic connection between the two biblical commentary. Okay, so there's no getting around it. Okay, and I clicked on the link and look what it said. Oops, we ran into a problem. Your IP address has been banned. Hey, that's what I tell you, man. Hey, these devils are hurt. Hey, they hurt, man. Hey, I'm glad that came up. Hey, they'll probably erase this video. Okay. It says persecution and empire. Okay, so, hey, we're going to be persecuted, you know, for chanting down this whore, man. Okay, for dismantling and, you know, exposing this whore for who she is, man. Okay, and you know, these whoremongers, okay, are gonna play a big part, man. Okay, because when you know, you got a whore and somebody making money off her, hey, they're gonna try to kill you. Matter of fact, that's what they did in Acts. Hey, that's the spirit. Okay, we're gonna look at the story in Acts. Okay, because this is the same thing that's gonna happen, man. Okay, this is Acts 19. I don't even know where to start. Let's start at. Let's start at 14. It's Acts 19 and 14. It says, and there were 7 sons, one of Sceva, a Jew, a chief of the priests, which did so. And the evil spirit answered and said, Yahweh I know, Paul I know, but who are ye? And the man in whom the evil spirit was leapt on them and overcame them and prevailed against them, so that they fled out of the house that naked and wounded. And this is what's going to happen to them sellout niggas, man. Okay? They're going to think they got it. Okay? They're going to think they're going to be able to rebuke the demon. And the demon is going to prevail against them. Okay? But the true brothers, okay, the true brothers that's doing his work in truth and sincerity, okay, will be able to, you know, rebuke these demons. All right? And that's the spirit I read that. Okay? Because that's exactly what's going to happen to these niggas. It says, and this was known to all the Jews and Greeks also dwelling in Ephesus. Okay? And it told you that's where that Diana statue was. Right? It says right here, okay, the Ephesian goddess. So they was in Ephesus. It says, and fear fell on them all. And the name of Yahweh Shem Yahushua was magnified. Okay? Because they heard the story. It says, and many that believed came and confessed and showed their deeds. And this is what's happening. Okay? All around the world, you're seeing people say, I just seen an Edomite looking, could be a Jake. Okay? But a nigga looked like a dead ringer for an Edomite. Okay? Hey, but he confessing, you know, that who the true Jews are, right? He got his fringes on. Hey, that's beautiful, man. Okay, and a lot of people around the world are, you know, catching hold to this word, man. Okay, this word is fire. Okay, and it's about to burn this, you know, this house down, man. Okay, so this is why they shadow ban and things of that nature. Okay, because many y'all believing and came and confessed and showed their deeds. Okay, so it's not just the faith, they're also doing works. Okay, putting up videos and confessing on TikTok and Whatever the hell else they got. Instagram, they probably doing it on there too. I don't got Instagram. It says, and many of them also, which used curious arts, brought their books together and burned them before them all. Okay? So the witches are burning their books. Right? I'm going to read it in the NLT. It says, a number of them who have been practicing sorcery brought their incantation books and burned them at the public bonfire. Okay, and that's the spirit. Hey, they having a lot of bonfires here lately. hey, and this is a beautiful thing. Eve is all into that witchcraft. Hey, she probably burning her books too, man. Because, hey, she been lied to as well, man. Okay, I've been seeing, a lot of women, saying that the man is the prize, man. Okay, and that's, that's putting away that idolatry. Okay. And not just any man, a man of the Lord. Okay, and really, though we are the prize, hey, Yahweh Shai is the prize. Okay, and the reason that we are the prize is because you got to go through us to get to Yahweh Shai. Okay, you got to go to Yahweh Shai to get to the Heavenly Father. All right? So, it's just order. All right? And this is what's happening. Okay, order is being, order is being brought in the court. Okay, and the judge is about to come out and burn this thing up. It says, and they counted the price of them and found it 50,000 pieces of silver. In the NLT, it says, they brought their incantation books and burned them at a public bonfire. The value of the books was several $1 million. Okay, so mightily grew the word of God and prevailed. All right, and this is what this truth is prevailing. Okay, it says, after these things were ended, Paul proposed in the spirit when he had passed through Macedonia to Achaia to go to Jerusalem, saying, after I have been there, I must also see Rome. So he sent into Macedonia 2 of them that ministered unto him, Timotheus and Erastus, but he himself stayed in Asia for a season. In the same time, there arose no small stir about that way. Okay, so it was trouble. It says in the NLT, it says about that time, serious trouble developed in Ephesus concerning the way. Okay, for a certain man named Demetrius, a silversmith, okay, which made silver shrines for Diana, brought no small gain into the craftsmen. Okay, so they losing money. Okay, this is what's happening. Okay, this word, brings down these cults, man. Okay, these pagans. Okay, they lose money. Okay, because there's no truth in those idols. It says, whom he called together with workmen of like occupation. It says, sir, ye know that by this craft we have our wealth. Okay, and this is what's happening to these churches, man. The truth is coming out. Okay, and these people are losing money. Okay, and look what happens. I'm reading in the NLT. It says he called them together along with others employed in similar trades and addressed them as follows: gentlemen, you know that our wealth comes from this business. Okay, it says, but as you have seen and heard, this man Paul has persuaded many people that handmade gods aren't really gods at all. Okay, hey, Christianity ain't the following of the Lord at all. Okay, these fake Jews, they not Jews at all. Okay, so hey, they losing money. Hey, and this is why they gonna go, they're gonna do away with the money. Okay? They're gonna do away with the whole thing, man. Okay? And it's all because of this truth. It says, and he's done this not only here in Ephesus, but throughout the entire province. Of course, I'm not just talking about the loss of public respect for our business. Okay, Esau losing respect. I'm also concerned at the temple of the great goddess Artemis. Okay, and I just showed that temple. Okay, will lose its influence, and Artemis, this magnificent goddess worshipped throughout the province of Asia and all around the world, will be robbed of her great prestige. Okay? And this is what's going to happen to the whore, man. Okay? When the Lord come, he going to burn this bitch to the stake, man. Okay? Because this is what you do to a witch. Okay? You burn a witch. Okay? If any priest, okay, has a daughter who's a whore, okay, you have to burn her. Okay? And this is what's going to happen. Okay? She's being robbed of her great prestige. It says, at this, their anger boiled, and they began shouting, "Great is Artemis!" In the KJV, it says, and they heard these things, they were full of wrath, and they cried out, saying, "Great is Diana, dirty Diana of Ephesus." Okay, of the Ephesians, excuse me. Okay, so you see in these two different translations, they're using two different names. Okay, because, hey, this demon is full of names. Okay, we read Ishtar. Okay, the Catholics worship her as Mother Mary. Okay, the Muslims worship Mary. Okay, I think in the Quran. Okay, there's just to be sure, we want to check on these things. Okay, does the Quran have a chapter called Mary? It says yes. Chapter 19 of the Quran is called Maryam. Okay, and that's another one, Maryam. Okay, Marathiam. Okay, that's Diana. Okay, so we're living in a great whore, whether you like it or not, man. Okay, and she's being brought to her knees, man. Okay, she's about to be forced to submit. Matter of fact, we're tying her up in the word, and about the Lord about to come back and burn her ass. Okay, it says so back in Acts 19 and 29, it says, and the whole city was filled with confusion, and having caught Gaius and Aristarchus, men of Macedonia, Paul's companions in travel, they rushed with one accord into the theater. Okay, so they grabbed the apostles, okay, and dragged them into to the theater. It says Paul wanted to go in too, but the believers wouldn't let him. Some of the officials of the province, friends of Paul, sent a message to him begging him not to risk his life by entering into the amphitheater. Inside, the people were all shouting, some one thing and some another. Everyone was in confusion. In fact, most of them didn't even know why they were there. The Jews in the crowd pushed Alexander forward and told him to explain the situation. He motioned for silence and tried to speak. But then when the crowd realized he was a Jew, they started shouting again and kept it up for 2 hours. Great is Diana of Ephesus. At the last, the mayor was able to quiet them down enough to speak. Citizens of Ephesus, he said, everyone knows that Ephesus is the official guardian of the... I'm going to read it in the KJV. It says that... it says, well, every man there knoweth not how the city of Ephesusans is a worshiper of the great goddess Diana. Okay? And this is this was in Rome. Okay? So this is the revised Roman Empire. It says, and the image which fell down from Jupiter. Okay? Whose image fell down to us from heaven. All right? It says, seeing then that these things cannot be spoken against, you ought to be quiet and to do nothing rashly. Okay, so you can't speak against this demon. Okay, this is why, they're banning our channels. Okay, though we can go on the highways and byways, okay, they can control these platforms. All right, it says, for ye have brought thither these men, which are neither robbers of churches, nor yet blasphemers of your goddess. Wherefore, if Demetrius and the craftsman has a case against them, the courts are in session and the officials can hear the case at once. Let them make formal charges, and this is what's going to happen. Okay, the scriptures say, we're going to be brought before kings. Okay, let's get that. This is the book of Matthew 10 and 18. And ye shall be brought before governors and kings for my sake, for a testimony against them and the Gentiles. Okay, and Mark 13 and 9, it says, but take heed to yourself, for they shall deliver you up to councils, and in the synagogues ye shall be beaten, and ye shall be brought before rulers and kings for my name's sake, for a testimony against them. Okay, it also says it in Luke. Okay, they're gonna deliver us up, man. Okay, so this is nothing new, man. Okay, this is what you're involved in. This is why, these niggas think they're gonna escape by saying that Esau ain't the white man. Okay? But them demons are gonna prevail over them. Okay, but not against the men of the Lord. So back in Acts 19, and if there are complaints about the matters, they can be settled in a legal assembly. I'm afraid we're in danger of being charged with rioting by the Roman government, since there is no cause for all the commotion, and the Rome demands an explanation. We won't know what to say. Okay, so the Lord delivered them out of that. Okay, and brought them before the governor, man. Okay, this is history repeats itself. All right, and the same thing's gonna happen. All right, but I didn't really plan to make that this long. Okay, but the fact of the matter is, America is Babylon, and Esau Edom is the so-called white man. Okay, and Dirty Diana, the great whore, is being worshipped. Okay, but she's losing her charm. Right, the scriptures say. Let me get this. The book of Isaiah, chapter 47 and 1, it says, come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit in the ground, there is no throne, daughter of the Chaldees, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. Okay, so Diane is losing, Dirty Diana is losing, her luster, man. Okay, she's an old hoe. Okay, and even women of Babylon, are starting to see, there's no profit in it. Okay, so hey, they're no more tender and delicate. Okay, and they're being grinded down. Okay, to powder. Okay, and the Lord's gonna come through and light a fire on their ass. All right, but I'm gonna leave it right there. Here goes a couple images, okay, if you wanted to see that. Okay. Goes by many different names, many different looks. Okay. The bitch got a look for everyone. Right? She's a fat bitch, a skinny bitch. Okay, a big titty bitch, a big ass bitch, no ass, no titties. Okay. Whatever flavor you like, okay, they got something for every category, right? You got the blondes, the brunettes, whatever. Okay, this is why they do it, man. Okay, all inclusive. Okay, everyone could come and be a whore. Okay, you niggas could be whoremongers. All right. So, Lord's will use edified. I end it by giving all honor and glory to Yahweh Bashem Yahushua Bashem Kakwadash. I'm gonna post up a link to my Rumble channel, just in case, but I'm gonna post videos on there. I'll still post on YouTube, but just in case all this shit get taken down, because they banning my page. All right. Matter of fact, let's look at this right here. Okay, so here goes a couple different more names for this lady. Okay, and Babel, they had a name for everywhere. For every heathen worships her. Okay, in India, China, it's Shingmu. Okay, Phoenicians, Ashtaroth, the Egypts, Isis, Diana, Irene. Okay, the pagan Greece, they got that song "Come On Irene." It say "Take off that pretty red dress." Okay, that's a good. Hey, I like that song, but hey, that's what it is. Okay, and I'm just now seeing it now. Okay, because hey, this is what the culture is. Okay, this is what you're facing. This is what you're fighting. Okay, Aphrodite, Fortuna. Okay, fortunes, Venus, Ishtar. In India is Issy. Okay, Semiramis. Okay, in modern Rome, the perpetual Virgin Mary. All right. So, be careful what you're doing here, man. Okay. Be not ignorant in any matter. Okay. Be circumspect in what you do, man. Okay. Because, this devil got a lot of tricks. All right. Lord's will use edified. I'll end it again by giving all honor, glory to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rakakwadash. Shalom.